Good evening, Simon here, Explosive Action, and we are back finally with another Blu-ray movie update. The stack is so large I had to pour myself a coffee, so let's get into it. Black coffee, Explosive Action. Let's get into this. There is an absolute metric ton of films here. There's been a bunch of sales that have happened. I'm not made of stone. I am. If there's a sale, it's good. It's an international sale, especially. It's gonna happen. So there's a few things here we need to get into, and the first one is not a Blu-ray. It's not a DVD. It is a Japanese VHS. They are few and far between for me these days, but I do like when I do get some. We have Forgotten Warrior, Japanese VHS. I'm really happy to get this one. I love my Philippine action. This is a good one from what is it, like 85? Yeah, 85. Just your standard run-of-the-mill stuff, kind of Rambo clone kind of deal going on there. Forgotten who's directed it, but it's can't remember. It's a good one. Take a look at a quick one in the tape. There we go. It's nice and clean tape. I got this on Facebook seller. Not entirely perfect, it's got a faded spine. I've never cared too much about that. And it's got the old Ron Marchini there on the front cover. It's good fun. I have the Australian tape, but it had seen better days. And I'm pretty much at the point now, if I have an Australian tape and it is not on DVD or Blu-ray yet, I would prefer a Japanese tape, and that's what I've done here. There you go, Forgotten Warrior, great little film. In this mountain of movies, there's only 2 DVDs, and I'll show them both at the same time. These were cheap. We have Sniper Assassin's End, which I think is like number 8 in the series, and Sniper Rogue Mission, I think is number 9. It's the latest one. I'm a bit of a sucker for these things. Obviously, the original Sniper movie had Tom Berenger going back in the 93, something around that time, and it is just a stone cold action classic. Quite a gripping, edge of your seat kind of. Snipers off against each other kind of thing. And it just gets cheesier and cheaper as we go on. But look, parts 2 and 3 were probably the lowest, I think, of the series. And then at number 4 and onwards, they kind of rebirthed. This Chad Michael Collins guy comes into it at some point and becomes sort of the lead. Honestly, it's just fun direct-to-DVD action films. And like this one here, this new one, Rogue Mission. I mean, it doesn't look like it's got anything to do with jungles and snipers at all. We've got they're going rogue, teaming up with a Homeland Security agent, an assassin lady Death, to uncover a corrupt agent, take down a criminal organization. I mean, that's just standard, WWE action movie, and whatever, man. I'm in for the ride on these ones. I actually paid for this on Blu-ray from the States. Never showed up. One of the very few Amazon orders of mine that has just never shown up. The tracking still says it's out there somewhere. They refund you, it's fine, but local DVD was on sale at JB, so was this one. Whatever, I'm sorted. Got my snipers. Gonna take another drink of my old black coffee. I have to contain this manliness that's coming up. Probably the most manly series of films ever. I kid, but at least that's what the normies would say. We have the Top Gun double pack. We've got the Top Gun first movie and the second one, which is called Maverick. I'm gonna actually lose my action creds here and say I have never watched Top Gun. It's never happened. I dislike Tom Cruise that much that I've never gone back and watched it. Just never happened. So look, I'm gonna go watch Top Gun now. And I kept getting people barreling me over about the new one, saying it's really good, you're gonna like it. Okay, fine, whatever. Look, I will check out Maverick, and I'll check out the original finally and see what all the fuss is about. Eases the pain. All right, this is more manliness. We have finally on Blu-ray. We have Mercenary Fighters with Reb Brown, Strike Commando, Robo War, screaming his way through films. This is a good one. It's only ever had a MOD DVD-R. I think that was a Warner Archive, or it might have been, or maybe an MGM. Would have been an MGM disc. And this is the Kino Code Red. Is Kino involved? Actually, no. It's just a Code Red. It's hard to tell sometimes. This trilogy of Kino, Code Red, and Scorpion that all becomes one thing. And no, look, okay, I take it back. Kino Lorber, it's on the back. Kino Lorber, Code Red, MGM. It is all here. So there you go, Mercenary Fighters. It's a Canon film from 1988. Very cool. Happy to get this one. Get rid of my MOD discs. Never like having those. And this one I wanted to see for ages. This one had a VHS release. I think this is a VHS to Blue upgrade. I don't think this is a DVD. Terror Squad. Looks great. It's got Chuck Connors. Killer cover on that. This is from 87. Another Kino and Code Red collaboration. Look at that. Look at that chin. Amazing. I know this is going to be right up my alley, this particular film. We got, the great Chuck Connors negotiating a safe release of hostages to bring villains to justice. Terror Squad delivers full throttle excitement and gripping drama. It's got Ken Foree. Oh, there you go. I didn't realise that. Ken Foree from Dawn of the Dead. Very, very cool. Directed by Peter Maris, who did Viper. Viper is a good one. Alright, cool. So there you go. Terror Squad. I'm sure that's going to be a good one. I am going to try and go through this quicker than usual because it's just an absolute mountain. This film is not great, but I enjoy it. And I have a weird nostalgia for this one. Not from seeing it in the 50s, obviously, because I wasn't born. But in the early days of DVD, one of the very first things I bought was one of those Mill Creek 50 horror DVD packs. And the first film I watched out of that pack was this one, Screaming Skull. And even then I thought, man, this is pretty cheap. And the transfer was pretty bad. But I liked the effect of the skull that was flying. It just kept flying towards the screen. I enjoy it. It's fun. It's just a bit cheap. 1958. It's only 68 minutes long. Jeez, I forgot about that. Quite short. You know the film is cheap and cheesy when a special feature is the Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode. Well, I don't think I'll be watching that. I honestly am not a fan of that series. If I'm going to laugh along with the film, it's going to be my laughter. I don't want to be egged on by another TV show telling me when to laugh. A bit like canned laughter, you know. Anyway, Screaming Skull. Looking forward to checking this one out again. It did have a 4-pack Scream Factory DVD, and this is the Scream Blu-ray. So there you go. This was very, very cheap. Very happy to get that one into the collection. Speaking of cheap, my God, this one's been flirting around a cheap price for ages, but then about 3 weeks ago, it just nosedived. And I think I paid, it was 12 Australian dollars, including shipping. I think that's what this worked out to be. Absolutely mental price. Like that wouldn't have even covered Amazon's postage to Australia. You know, Children of the Damned, obviously the sequel to Village of the Damned. I have not seen this one. Village of the Damned is great. I am told this one is less great. But look, for that price, and I'll get the Blu-ray upgrade from my old 2-pack DVD. So now I actually need the Blu-ray of Village of the Damned, which is not that cheap. So I'll be keeping an eye out for that one. But yeah, Children of the Damned. If you've seen Children of the Damned, tell me what you think of it. If you rate it anywhere near the first film, or if it's enjoyable in so bad it's good kind of way. Curious about your thoughts on that one. These two were also really cheap. There was some kind of, I'm not sure if it was a Shout Factory sale. It might have been a Shout Factory sale at Amazon Australia, just Amazon Australia, which is a very unique pairing of sale, very much acknowledging the international discs that they sell. And I got these two for about, I think it was about 21 Australian each, including shipping, which is very good. We have Snake. On this motion, once this motion picture sinks its fangs into you, you'll never be the same. This is true. So yeah, what a stupid name. Can you imagine, you know, 1973, going up to the ticket booth and saying, one ticket to I'm sorry, did you say to Santa's Shack? No, one ticket to which explains why the alternate cover on this is Snake. So I don't know what territory renamed it to Snake, but they were the smart one. Anyway, I've never actually seen this one. I've owned it on a local Umbrella DVD a long time ago. I never got around to watching it. I don't know, it just didn't happen. But yeah, we'll check it out this time. We've got I need coffee. Next up. Oh yeah, we have Island of Terror. This is a really, really good one. Is it a Hammer or an Amicus? was filmed by a Hammer director, and it doesn't actually have a studio on it, so I'm not too sure which one this is. Planet Film Productions, there you go, or whatever. But it has your Hammer alumni. It's got Peter Cushing in it, and yeah, this is a really good one. Got Peter Cushing sort of dealing with these monster, like they're like balls of slime or something, in a forest. It's very entertaining. I had the Odeon Blu-ray, which was pretty good, but I've been told that this particular one is much better. Scream did a remaster on it. I reversed the cover because I thought the original cover was pretty crap. So that's the cover you'll see in the listings on Amazon and stuff. And the disc here is the cover art, apparently from a theatrical poster, which looks really cool. Would make actual good cover art. I don't know why they don't really do that. There you go. Island of Terror. Fun one. I'm looking forward to checking out that transfer. And okay, we're on to some fancy editions here. Got some Vinegar Syndrome. My god, their VSAs are just outstanding. Look at this. Red Sun Rising. Got some Don the Dragon Wilson. I can't believe we have this world we're in now with luxurious hard box Don the Dragon Wilson Blu-rays, and it's not the first one. We've had at least one other one at this point. Reverse cover, just absolutely glorious. I mean, the case, the film, it's just amazing. Anyway, has been quite some time since I watched this Don the Dragon. It's only ever had a couple of sort of average DVDs. They're like full screen. It's never been widescreen as far as I'm aware. So I don't recall much about this one. I'm looking forward to checking it out again. But we do get a lot of bonus things, I think. Yeah, newly scanned 4K, ridiculous. Brand new interview with Don the Dragon. Red Sun Reflections, a new interview with the assistant director Erica Fox. Producer Fu, a brand new interview with producer Paul Maslach. Newbie's Way, brand new interview with cinematographer John Newby. Master of the Flying Edit, a brand new interview with editor John Wyden. As everyone involved in this movie has been interviewed. Vinegar Syndrome, absolutely ridiculous. And I love the cover artwork there, and I like you can reverse it to look at the kind of the theatrical poster there. So very cool. Loving the VSA releases. This one's not a VSA, this is a regular Vinegar Syndrome. Sometimes I do wonder why these things are regular Vinegar Syndrome and not VSAs. This one feels like a VSA to me. Mutant Squad. Oh, sorry, Mutant Hunt. Mutant Squad. Mutant Hunt. Mutant Hunt. With the reverse on there as well. Never seen this. I am unclear if we had an Australian VHS. We may have. Thinking now, there might have been a cover I can see in my brain. But anyway, Mutant Hunt. Yeah, look, that is the cover from, I think is it like a Wizard video in the States, something along those lines. It's a great cover, and I don't know why it says Mutant Hunt. I don't know, we hunting twice? But this looks pretty glorious. In the near future, 1992, robots have become a facet of everyday life. Dr. Zed, the diabolical head of one of the country's top robotic firms, developed a solution named Eurofron, which, when injected into cyborgs, transforms them from manservant into impossibly strong, powerful killing machines. Wow. Mutant Hunt. This should be a grand experience, I think, for me. Definitely looks right up my alley. 77 minutes in 1987. It's an Orion picture. Well, there you go. It feels like it should be like a full moon or something along those lines, but there you go. Orion picture, Mutant Hunt. Looking forward to checking that one out. Also picked up this one. This is the Edgar Allan Poe's Buried Alive. Awesome slip on this one, nice embossed thing. Very cool. And there's the inner cover. Now this film, there's been obviously a few versions of this from what I recall. 1989 is this one, from 21st Century Film Corporation. Now was that the 21st century that was after canon? Is that the post-canon 21st century? It very well could be. Well, it's got Avi Lerner in it, so there you go. Avi Lerner is the producer. I think there was a relation there. Anyway, reading from the back. Janet has taken a job as teacher at Ravenscroft, a girls' reform school for juvenile delinquents. Not long after arriving, Janet's dreams become plagued with haunting visions of a mysterious brick wall, coupled with the very real increase in disappearances of the facility's young pupils. While dismissed by the headmaster as nothing more than runaways, Janet is not convinced and begins investigating the history of the school and its assortments of unbalanced staff members. This sounds pretty fun. Not a huge amount of extras, just a few little interviews. 2K restore from the 35mm IP. So there you go. Buried Alive. Kind of going in blind on that one. It just seemed cool. The trailer looked interesting. And the last one in this stack, we have Part 2, Evil Dead Trap number 2. Hideki. That's the name of the second one. Yeah, the first one is definitely some Cat 3 nonsense, and this is no different. Except for it's sort of got thrown into that Cat 3 basket, but it's a Japanese film, right? It's not a Hong Kong film. You do always see it getting referenced as a Cat 3. Because of the similar type of films that we're talking about here, a killer on the loose in Japan, young women are being horribly mutilated. Aki, a young woman who works as a film projectionist, is haunted by childlike ghosts. Her girlfriend Emmy is a TV news reporter covering the horrible mutilations. Emmy introduces Aki to Kurahasi, a married man with a haunted past. Everyone involved has a dark secret and something evil is taking control of them. They are pawns in a game being played by forces beyond their understanding. Eerie descent into madness takes on a journey into the abyss. Terrible truth is finally revealed. So there you go. This is an Unearthed Classics, number 9 if you're playing the Spine Number game, which thankfully I am not at this point. Same cover on the inside. And yeah, I've never seen the sequel. I've only seen the first one. That was a long time ago. Haven't actually watched the Blue. Had the old Synapse DVD, the first movie. Never managed to get the second one. Now I have both, so I think maybe a double feature is in order. There you go. Evil Dead Trap 2. Coffee time. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Alright, so the next thing we're going to show here was a big sale that Indicator Films did out of the UK. Very, very good sale. The postage, yeah, look, you had to make this worth your while. If you just bought 3 things, the postage was going to eat you alive. But if you got enough things, it made sense because you hit sort of a good threshold. They took the VAT off for people in Australia, probably in America as well. And as well as the sale, there was also a 3 for £15 sale within the sale. So you could really do well out of this. And then that 3 for 15 became like 3 for 13 or something when the VAT came off. Some dirt cheap titles here. In the box, they chucked in some sort of lobby card poster things. We got the big gun down, Burt Lancaster's a swimmer. What else we got here? I didn't want to pull them out. Oh, I guess I'm pulling them out. Bullfighter and the Lady, Carnal Knowledge. So like postcards, yeah, they're actual postcards, which is cool. Pastor Hall and Dracula, a Love Story. So that was a nice little extra. And also a little Indicator booklet was in the box as well, just some of their releases, talking about the limited editions. Very nice. And the films themselves, okay, there's a bit of a theme between this pile and the pile we're going to get to afterwards, and that theme is Charles Bronson. There is more than one Charles Bronson in here. I decided I needed more Bronson. I had my Death Wishes, you know, I had a few key films, had a few non-key films. I got like Cold Sweat, you know, which is not one that people talk about too much, only on DVD, but I just wanted to get more Bronson, and these sales from 2 different companies really helped in that. The first one here is the Valachi Papers. I will admit that I don't know a great deal about a lot of the films in these sales. You know, the cheaper the price, the less quality control I'm going to give myself. And that's not to say this is not going to be a quality film, it's just my barrier to entry is much lower. In fact, I'm pretty sure that the Valachi Papers is considered quite a very good film. Lovely cover here from Indicator. I really like that minimalistic thing. So many extras on this. Ridiculous. Charles Bronson and Lino Ventura in the Valachi Papers, Terrence Young film. There is so many extras on the back, they don't even tell you what the film is about, and weighs an absolute ton. So there you go, there's the disc. Mammoth booklet. Mammoth booklet. Ridiculous. There you go. A moustacheless Bronson, who's is not something I'm used to seeing. What year is this? 72. So quite early in the Bronson films that I'm experienced in. There he is there again. I take it's a bit more of a thriller than an action film. And yeah, I'm looking forward to checking this one out. It's from Italy and France in English language. You can also watch it in Italian language, apparently. So, wow. The amount of extras on here. Just insanity. Audio commentary with historians Paul Talbot, author of Bronson's Loose, The Making of Death Wish Films, and Bronson's Loose Again. They sound like books I need to get. Wow, I'm going to look into that. Some Bronson books would be very nice on the shelf. There's just far too many things here to read about. But anyway, the Valachi papers. Yeah, don't know what to tell you about it, but it looks good, and it's Bronson. As I said, there's a theme in here. There's no order to this pile. We're not all getting Bronson in a row. This one here is Eye of the Cat. Great cover, and that makes it look like a giallo. A David Lovell Rich film from 1969. Come face to face with a kind of terror that shatters your every concept of fear. Again, don't know a great deal about this one at all. Just looked good. There was more information written on the website when I was ordering these things than there is on the cases. Again, another giant booklet. That was the other thing about this sale is, a lot of the stuff on sale was the standard editions, but there was still plenty of the special editions like this one that were just going cheap, like £5-6, insanely good price. Eye of the Cat. Yeah, I can't tell you anything about it. It's got enough extras on here as well to swing a cat. We have Pussies Galore, 21-minute. What is it? Like a featurette from Kim Newman. Anything he does is great. About the feline horror subgenre. That is going to be interesting. Watch itself. So there you go. Eye of the Cat. Cat horror. Torture Garden. This is a regular edition. Jack Palance, Peter Cushing. It is not a Hammer. It's an Amicus, and it's a anthology, I believe. I've never seen this one, Torture Garden. Always been keen to check this one out. I do like the anthologies from the 60s and 70s, Hammer and Amicus. This one is just one I've not managed to see. All kinds of extras yet again. You get 2 presentations of the film. 93-minute theatrical version and an extended 100-minute TV cut. That's pretty cool. Interviews, all kinds of stuff. My God. Kim Newman's name is on every single Indicator release. That is not a bad thing. The guy does good work. Yeah, there you go. Columbia Pictures with Jack Palance, Burgess Meredith, Beverly Adams, and Peter Cushing. Yeah, there you go. Directed by Freddie Francis, Amicus production. Yeah, I can't tell you much about it, but it certainly looks like the kind of anthology I'm going to enjoy. This one's kind of on the list of shame. I even had this on VHS in the waybacks. I'm talking like VHS in like 99. I remember picking up an ex-rental, and I still never watched it, and I never watched any DVD. It's just never happened. I'm going to watch it now. See No Evil with Mia Farrow. The tape even had that cover, the Australian tape. It's just never happened. It's just never happened. I'm a terrible person sometimes. Richard Fleischer directed film. Again, there's a couple of his in here that we've been going through. Keep your eyes on what she cannot see. The boots, the bracelets, the bodies. Seems pretty good. But yeah, it's just never happened. Under the disc we have an alternate cover. No, we don't. We get all the different box arts on this one. Different things you can get, which is nice. Straightforward disc. So standard edition on this one, no booklet. See No Evil. If you've seen this one particularly, please let me know. It's been 25 years. I still haven't got around to it. I need something to prompt me. Tell me to watch that movie while I watch my coffee, which is getting cold. Black coffee. Here we are back on the Charles Bronson. This one's The Stone Killer. This cop plays dirty. This one feels a bit more action-y to me. Particularly looking forward to checking out The Stone Killer. Take away his badge and he'd top the 10 most wanted list. Yeah, this feels, yeah, gritty cop. I love good gritty cop stuff. I mean, this is probably his Dirty Harry, I'm assuming. Stone Killer, is this his Dirty Harry? Very much could be. We've got all kinds of extras again. Just taking a quick flick through here. We have the John Player Lecture with Michael Winner from 1970, 64-minute archival recording of an on-stage interview conducted by Margaret Hinksman at the National Film Theatre. How would they dig something like that up? That's just crazy how they would dig something like that up. Yeah, anyway, there you go. 1973 film, this one. Directed by Michael Winner. And yeah, some Bronson. And I think this is the kind of Bronson that's going to go up to the top of the list for me to watch. Because, yeah, gritty cop. Gotta love that. Here we go. Some more Hammer or Hammer similar type film. Is it actually a Hammer film? Yeah. I don't think it is. I think it's just of that time. It's an Amicus. There you go. I had to go hunting. I Monster. Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing. Winning combination, but not Hammer. Amicus films here. This one I've been kind of keen to check this one out. Absolutely. And this is a fairly new release from Indicator, so it was good to see this one in the sale. I think it's fairly new anyway. At least they've still got plenty of these extra special copies. Lovely looking cover there. Reverse cover's pretty cool. I quite like that, but I do like the normal cover. Nice booklet there with a certainly gratuitous shot. Look at this, just tank booklets. If you're a booklet fan, you definitely get your value with Indicator's offerings. Lots of text in there. So yeah, Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, Mike Raven in I Monster, directed by Stephen Weeks. The night you meet the other you is the first night in the age of horror. What a strange byline that is. New 2K restoration, 2 cuts of the film, 75-minute theatrical and extended 81. Extended 81 minute. What a short film this is. Interviews, commentaries, just absolute truckload of things going on here. I Monster. Yeah, I don't know, but it looks great. I will be watching it for sure. Indicator Films. And alright, next one. Another Richard Fleischer film. Once I got one in the cart, I kind of just added a bunch more and thought, oh look, why not? Because they're all there and they're all cheap. And I heard this one was quite good. I ran this past a couple of people and they said, yeah, this is a good one. 10 Rillington Place. Richard Attenborough, Judy Geeson, and John Hurt. Now, John Hurt is always a good sale for me. Very much a fan of his films. What Happened to the Women at 10 Rillington Place? The true story of John Reginald Christie, who turned his backyard into a burial ground. Yeah, that made the news quite a bit. It does keep getting brought up in sort of popular culture and in retrospectives of crimes of past. It's yeah, one of those interesting things I've been wanting to see. So yeah, keen to check this one out. 4K restoration, a bunch of interviews yet again, audio commentary with Sir John Hurt. So I wonder when that was done. Obviously he passed away maybe 5 years ago at this point. So perhaps that's from an old DVD version. Featurettes, etc., etc. Image gallery. It's always interesting. Remember when image galleries on DVDs was like, amazing? And still on a Blu-ray you get an image gallery. I don't particularly look at them myself. I do prefer, that's when the booklets are useful, but this is the standard edition, so nothing fancy on this one. But there you go, 10 Rillington Place. If you've seen this one, let me know what you think of that. And yeah, here's another Fleischer film, and yeah, I think this was the one that kind of spurred me into getting it, because George C. Scott, he is fantastic. I really like George C. Scott, and I've only seen him in a couple of films so far. So I absolutely love him in Exorcist 3. That's outstanding movie, and I know he's done older films like Patton, The Changeling. I've seen him in The Changeling. He's really good in that. I want to see more of George C. Scott, and here we are with New Centurions. A picture about cops by a cop is back to blast the screen. I mean, cop action, it's always good for me. 1972 contains Cop Stories, The Making of Richard Fleischer's The New Centurions, 2016, 44-minute documentary. Interviews with Stacy Keach, interviews with the writer, trailers, a Super 8 version of the movie, 17 minutes long. That's a neat little curiosity. Remember when you get Super 8s and they were like, sub 20 minutes long? Sometimes they didn't even have sound. And then VHS came and changed everything. There you go, New Centurion. Looking forward to that one. This one is a bit of an upgrade from the, was it Scorpion DVD? I think it was Scorpion's DVD of this movie and The Terror, I think was the double pack. The Devil's Men. More Donald Pleasance and more Peter Cushing. Bit of a theme almost again in here, along with the Bronson. This is from Kostas Karagiannis, and it's a Greek film, so Greek director. 1976, and I don't recall watching that double feature DVD. I'd only watched The Terror, which has now got a Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray. So there you go. Look, the amount of times that I've bought a DVD and then the Blu-rays come and I've bought the upgrade before I even watched the DVD. It's the collector life, I tell you. Doesn't matter, it's fine. I mean, it's like £4 or something, so it's good. And it's the fancy edition and everything. We get 2 presentations of the film, 94-minute original cut and the Land of the Minotaur 86-minute cut. Oh, shorter US theatrical version. Land of the Minotaur. What a different title. Devil's Men. We get John Player lecture with Peter Cushing from 1973, which is longer than the movie. Amazing. Audio archival recordings. Producer Phrixos Constantine reflecting on working with the actors, etc., etc. So many different things. Take a look in here. Another big booklet, and there you go. Interesting reverse cover. Booklet, enormous. So yeah, that's the indicator sale. Devil's Men, very cool. And well, this is an indicator. This is in the wrong pile, but hey, look, we're here. I got this because Extra the Mutilator told me to get it in his update. He talked about this film, and I remember seeing like a X-rental copies around or something, and I never bothered with this film. He says it's good. I got a new copy, brand new copy, for $4, including shipping. Hansel and Gretel, the Witch Hunters. How very non-indicator is this? Anyway, doesn't matter. Extended cut. Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters. He raved about it. He said it was really good fun. And for $4 whole, like, if I went to the shop to buy a coffee, I would pay more than $4 now. And here I have a Blu-ray shipped to my door. I mean, it even had the stamps on it. The stamps weren't franked. I can reuse the stamps. Look at it that way. This is like a $2.50 Blu-ray. That's how I look at things. Anyway, Gemma and Jeremy work their magic in this all-action reboot. Didn't really consider it a reboot. Anyway, Twisted Tale of Hansel and Gretel. They've turned pro, coping with the trauma of the childhood captivity by slaying witches for hire. So he says it's good. Extra likes it. I'm going to like it. Well, my coffee is finished, but I tell you what's not finished, and that's this update. We've moved on now to a Kino sale. Kino Lorber do not ship to Australia directly, but a friend of mine was going to do an order, get the stuff shipped to a US location, and then have it on shipped to Australia. I got in on that order. It all worked out really well price-wise. So this is all Kino stuff from their website. Some of it is things they were selling on behalf of other companies, but yeah, it's all got Kino's logo on it. The first one, Bronson, Mr. Majestic. Charles Bronson versus Watermelons. This is a great film. I watched it last night. It had never been on my radar before. Yeah, I'm very, very happy that I picked this one as my Charles Bronson film of Friday night. Yeah, what a whale of a film this is. He's got such a deadpan look the whole time. Like, he feels very nonplussed the whole way through this movie. He just wants to harvest his melons, right? And the mafia gets in the way, and the local crooks. Everyone is just stopping him from harvesting his melon. That's all he wants. He's even offered $25,000 at one point. No, he wants to harvest his melons. They should have just called it Mr. Melon. There's the inner. There's the back. I'll read a bit from the back. Cinema's most rugged tough guy. I can't argue with that. Charles Bronson, Violent City and Death Wish, stars as Vince Majestic. It's a great surname too. Ex-con Vietnam vet whose efforts to run a farm are thwarted by narrow-minded locals and corrupt cops. A mafia hitman, Al Lettieri from The Getaway, destroys Majestic's crop. The farmer's fuse is finally blown. With his rifle in hand and his girlfriend, Linda Crystal from The Perfect Furlough, at the wheel, he goes after the syndicate assassin. From high-speed backroad chases to explosive backwoods confrontation, mobster and maverick stalk each other. Two of a kind antagonists to the death. Yeah, that chase is great. It's a proper 70s chase with these like big old like pure steel pickup trucks just flying over sand dunes and things. Really, really good. And then the final sort of shootout kind of thing at the end, which is a bit more sort of stalk and chase. Great. Really, really dug this. Solid 4 out of 5 from me. 1974. And it's Richard Fleischer again. I'm kind of realizing the amount of films that the guy directed, and many of them with Bronson. So yeah, there you go, Mr. Majestic. This was great, and a lovely slip on that too. Here we are, some more Bronson. This is a bit of a tangent Bronson, I believe. This is Farewell Friend with Alain Delon and Charles Bronson, filmed by Gene Herman. Film icons Charles Bronson and Alain Delon from the Silicon Clan. It's a Sicilian clan. Silicon. Team up to create a one-of-a-kind buddy film with a fascinating premise. After serving together in the French Foreign Legion, Franz Prop, which is Bronson, and Dr. Dino Baron Delon go on their separate ways to be reunited by an extraordinary coincidence. Baron is persuaded by a friend to sneak into an underground bank vault, help return stolen bonds. While he is hiding, he comes upon Prop, who is actually there to rob the safe. After getting locked inside the vault, the two very different men strike up a powerful friendship that binds them together through a series of shocking developments, from a miraculous escape to being framed for murder. It sounds really good to me, and I love that cover. It's such a mafia kind of cover, almost a noir kind of thing going on there. And an interesting title, Farewell Friend, 1968. It's quite early Bronson, this. There you go. Yeah, looking forward to checking this one out. Could very well be the next one I chuck on there. I've got a feeling it's going to be very Bronson heavy in my to-watch pile for a while. Might just burn through a bunch of Bronson. I mean, I'm not going to go wrong, am I? I don't think I'm going to go wrong with the ones I picked anyway. Yeah, this one's with Anthony Perkins, Someone Behind the Door. Definitely a bit more of a suspense thriller kind of thing, this one. Screen legends Charles Bronson. Anthony Perkins from Psycho co-star in the suspenseful thriller directed by Nicholas Gessner, the little girl who lives down the lane. Lawrence Jeffries, that's Perkins, is a neurosurgeon dedicated to the research and neglectful of his beautiful wife, Frances. Jill Ireland from Breakheart Pass, which I think is also a Bronson film. Who leaves him for another man. The vindictive doctor plots a diabolical scheme, conditioning an amnesia patient into believing that Frances is his own wife, so that he can take revenge by proxy with a perfect alibi. Definitely a weird kind of thriller there. That's a different thing for me to see with Bronson, 1971. So, I mean, I'm going through here, this pile of Bronson, and you're seeing a range. Like, there's a real range here. All I need is like Bronson in space, but I don't think he ever got that far. There you go, Somewhere Behind the Door. Someone behind the door. I keep saying somewhere. Audio commentary, a couple of little things, not too extras heavy, which is fine. Yeah, so there you go. Someone Behind the Door. Also slightly different here. This is Vincent Price and Charles Bronson. What a combo. You would not have convinced me that was a real combo until I saw this cover. Jules Verne's Master of the World. Look at that. Outstanding cover. Action-adventure ace William Whitney, director of Daredevils of the Red Circle, Adventures of Captain Marvel, Trigger, Junior, and Sunset in the West, high-flying sci-fi spectacular. Maybe he does go to space. Starring screen legend Vincent Price. A mad inventor known only as Lorber, that's Price, kidnaps a team of government expedition to investigate a mysterious crater in Pennsylvania. The team is taken aboard Lorber's fantastically engineered airship, the Albatross. I will watch anything that has Albatross in it. Which Lorber plans to fly around the world to various military installations in his desperate desire to eradicate weapons of mass destruction, thereby bringing about world peace. Well, that's a way of doing it. Kidnapped team leaders John Strock, that's Charles Bronson, responds by planning an uprising. Henry Hull from Lifeboat, Mary Webster, the Tin Star, and David Frankham from Tales of Terror co-star in an astonishing airborne adventure scripted by Richard Matheson, The Last Man on Earth, from the classic Jules Verne novels Lorber, the Conqueror and Master of the World. There you go, 1961. What a combination! Vincent Price and Charles Bronson. In an early sort of science fiction, save the world, stop the weapons kind of deal. Really don't know what to expect on this one. Absolutely no idea. It sounds kind of cool. Let me know if you've seen Master of the World, how you rate that in the Bronson landscape. This one is a bit embarrassing. I should have seen this one by now, and it hasn't happened. Murphy's Law. I even have this on like an old DVD box set of Bronson films, and I just never got around to it. Very, very silly of me. Murphy's Law, though. This one I've been really keen to check out. A killer on a rampage learns the hard way. Don't mess with Jack Murphy. Screen legend Charles Bronson, starring in this thrilling game of hide and seek between a clever psychopath and a lone lawman hell-bent on reaping justice. Veteran detective Jack Murphy, that's Bronson, is suddenly a wanted man after he's framed for the murder of his ex-wife. Taken into custody by the very cops he works with, Murphy has no choice to escape and hunt down the killer who set him up. Fairly standard plot there, but it still sounds great to me. This is a Canon film from 1986, so that's why it's embarrassing I haven't watched it. Canon, Bronson, 80s, it's everything that I like. Needs to happen quite soon, I think, so there you go. Also has Lyons Law, the Canon Years, interview with actor Robert Lyons. Well, that's cool. Audio commentary, a couple of radio spots and a trailer. Murphy's Law, Canon Films, Bronson from the 80s. Really should have done it by now. Before we get back into Bronson, I was umming and ahhing about these, and then the sale happened and they were so cheap, so here we are. I got the 3 creature features that they put out. I'll show them all at once. Tarantulas, the Deadly Cargo, Terror, Out of the Sky, Spiders, Bees, and then Ants, just called Ants, exclamation mark. I don't know much about any of these at all. This one's from 77, Terror Out of the Sky is from 78, and Tarantulas is also from 77. Stuart Hackman directed film, Lee Katzin directed film, and Robert Shearer film. So yeah, look, absolutely no idea about these films. They're just creature features from the 70s, and I had to have them. The one that I have heard of is Terror Out of the Sky, but it's just, none of these have ever happened before. Holy shit, this one's got Dan Haggerty in it. Didn't even know. I bought this and I get bonus Dan Haggerty. He's right there on the cover. I should have seen that. Didn't realize I had Dan Haggerty, but I will take Dan Haggerty in any movie I can get. And any Dan? No Dan in this one. That's a shame. I would like if Dan Haggerty was in every movie. That would be great. Anyway, Tarantulas, the Deadly Cargo. There's the underside. It's the same. I think this one's the same too. Terror Out of the Sky. Was this one different? It was. This is the other Ants poster. So there you go. The trifecta of creature features there from Kino. Show them all at once. Very cool. Now we're back on the Charles Bronson wagon. What a wagon to be on. The Valdez horses. Look at the size of that cowboy hat. That is an outstanding cowboy hat. I love that drawing. So good. The Valdez horses. This is from 73. From John Sturges, magnificent director of Bad Day at Black Rock, Black Lash, and The Magnificent Seven, The Great Escape. There's some pretty quality films in there. Hard-hitting western starring action icon Charles Bronson as Chino Valdez. It's also called Chino. That's the undertitle there. So, yeah, don't think you're getting 2 films if you're out there just random Bronson shopping. A leather, tough horse breeder who lives by his own rules. Avoided by everyone for having Native American blood, Chino lives in seclusion until he takes a young runaway, Vincent Van Patten, from Hell Knight under his wing and shows him the ropes of ranching. Chino soon strikes up a romance with the beautiful Catherine, Jill Ireland from Breakheart Pass again, but the smouldering passion ignites a fire of hatred when her brother, Marcel Berzoufi, French Connection, a ruthless cattle baron, unleashes violence upon the half-breed. Wow, horses versus cattle. Valdez horses. 1973, another John Sturges film, and another audio commentary by Paul Talbot from the Bronson's Loose books, which I really now need to look into. So yeah, there's that cover again. Valdez horses, this one looks really fun. I'm not huge on American type Western films. I do prefer the spaghetti Westerns, but it's Bronson, so here we are. And this is probably in a similar style, Chato's Land. Another great cover. Another one with Jack Palance. Getting a lot of similar names on these films today. Charles Bronson, Jack Palance star in magnificent Western as a wild, untamed Old West itself. Bristling with dynamic action sequences and riveting performances, Chato's Land is a bold, sweeping tale of passion, vengeance, and cold-blooded murder. Chato is a half-breed Apache, another half-breed, who treads the line between the two cultures, balancing allegiance to his tribe with the allure of white man's world. When the Chato kills a vicious sheriff in self-defense, he finds himself hunted by a posse led by the ruthless Quincy, that's Palance, oh, bad guy Palance, a former Confederate soldier, that's very Palance, who is determined to see him hang. 13 men against 1, but the odds shift in Chato's favour. He leads pursuers to Apache territory, when the harsh, cruel countryside can kill as surely as a gunman's bullets. This feels like Thunder. Is Thunder sort of based on, like the Thunder trilogy, are they sort of based on this? It feels very similar. Yeah, more Bronson, reverse cover there. Geez, very shirtless Bronson, isn't it? What if he's as ripped as that in the film? Very well could be. It's 70s Bronson. Directed by Michael Winner. Yeah, there you go. More Bronson. Am I at the end of my Bronson yet? Quick peek. I am at the end of my... We are Bronson free. If you're sick of my Bronson, how dare you? But anyway, we're done with Bronson. And we've moved on to Checkered Flag or Crash. I like how it actually says Checkered Flag or Crash. Joe Don Baker film. Awesome cover on this one. This is a Code Red Kino thing from... when did they put this out? A couple of years now. 2021, it's only last year. Didn't realise it was that recent. But it was in the sale, so yeah, happy to get this one. High-octane world of off-road racing. Joe Don Baker, walking tall, is walk-away Madden, reckless race car driver who tends to walk away from crashes without a scratch. That's cool. Susan Sarandon, she's been coming up a bit, from Rocky Horror Picture Show, is C.C. Wainwright, a tenacious photojournalist who joins Walkaway on the Manila 1000, a 3-day off-road race through the Philippine jungle. Philippine jungle? Teddy Page in this? Amazing! Man, can this cross over with Strike Commando? Like, can Reb Brown just come out and start shooting shit? That would be amazing. Philippine jungle! Buckle up for a wild, hilarious ride. You gotta be tough to win and crazy to try. This sounds really, really fun. 1977 film. Yeah, there you go. Checkered Flag or Crash. Looking forward to that one. This one I've been wanting to watch for years. This is quite an early Kino, back in their old logo. This is The Mask, also in 3D. What year is this? 61. Geez, the layouts were different on the old Kino releases. All very different. Yeah, I've wanted to see this since I ever saw that shot, which shows up in quite a few. People talk about horror films and things. Often this photo shows up, and I've been really, really wanting to see it ever since. It's just never happened. 1961 film with after the death of a disturbed patient, psychiatrist Dr. Alan Barnes, Paul Stevens, comes into possession of an ancient tribal mask that drove the young man to his doom. When Barnes puts on the mask, he is assailed with nightmarish visions of monsters, occultists, and ritual torture. Continues to explore this terrifying new psychic world, even as the mask reveals a latent violence into his own nature that threatens the closest to him. Great looking thing. There you go. 3D Film Archive. It is an actual 3D Blu-ray as well as 2D. So newly restored stereoscopic 3D. Requires your original blah 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 blah. 3D TV player and glasses required. That's a special feature. But damn well better have a 2D version on here as well, or I've wasted my money. But I'm pretty sure it does. It has a few features and things. Yeah, there you go. Includes the 3D animated short One Night in Hell, music by Brian May, in Dolby Atmos. Very, very interesting. So there you go. The Mask. And this one, I don't know why I didn't have the original of this. So Code Red used to do all their Blu-rays, and they were often challenging to get, at least outside of America. And then, he finally relented and let Kino reissue all of them. In the last couple of years, it's just been Kino reissuing so many Code Red titles, and this is one of them. I missed the original. Don't know why. Got the reissue, which has better cover art. I prefer this cover art. Devil's Wedding Night, from starring Mark Damon. This is from what year? 1973, and directed by Paul Solvay. French Schiller, that's Mark Damon from House of Usher, goes to Transylvania in search of a cursed ancient ring. His quest brings him to Castle Dracula, where he discovers and falls for the strange and beautiful La Contessa d'Olenja de Vries. God, that's a mouthful. Who turns out to be Countess Dracula, hell-bent on bringing Count Dracula back to life. Schiller is put under Countess's evil spell as his twin brother Carl Schiller arrives in Transylvania trying to save his brother before it's too late. Co-starring funny man Zero Papas, Frankenstein 80. Directed by Luigi Batzella. Photographed by Joe D'Amato. So I'm hoping for some boobs. Produced by the great Ralph Zucker. Cult Euro horror favorite, features very atmospheric and brutally shocking scenes, not for the timid, and one to keep away from the young kids. A strange, interesting thing to write on the back there. Keep it away from children. Alright, so there you go. Devil's Wedding Night. Cool. Been wanting to check it out for quite some time. Very cool. On to the home stretch now. We're away from sale territory. Some new release titles here. This one, I think a lot of people have been waiting for this particular film to hit Blu-ray for a very long time. We had the first two from Eureka. We now have this also from Eureka and 88 Films in the US. I'm seeing that a bit lately, where Eureka gets the UK, 88 Films has the US. Or if not them, Arrow has the US. So if you're a completist collector, sucks to be you right now. I'm glad I don't do that anymore. This is Super Cop Police Story 3 with Jackie Chan and Michelle Yeoh. Fantastic. What a great looking edition here from Eureka. You get I'm glad they did a custom, because that's always been a pretty naff cover art, that one. Meh. Just meh. Anyway, Jackie Chan, Michelle Yeoh team up in this action masterpiece featuring some of the most dangerous stunts ever performed. Police Story 3 Super Cop represents the pinnacle of Jackie Chan's unique style of Hong Kong action filmmaking. Dazzling blend of gritty action, cop drama, impeccably choreographed martial arts sequences, and bone-crunching stunt work. All these things are true. 1992. This is very late in the Hong Kong action game. Right in the, there was so much good stuff that was coming out from 92 to the close of Hong Kong, 96. Yeah, that kind of era, so much stuff is VCD and Laserdisc only. Unless, of course, you're Jackie Chan, in which case you get ridiculous releases from Eureka. There's so much stuff on here. We get alternate US version, the Hong Kong theatrical version, Cantonese mono audio. Interesting. Optional alternate Cantonese audio track featuring original unaltered sound effects. And that's the optional. So what does that mean? That the original audio has been touched or something? I don't know. I need to look into that. Brand new Dolby Atmos surround sound. No, thank you. The classic English dub track. All kinds of stuff. Commentary with Asian film experts Frank Zheng and FJ DeSanto. More audio commentaries. What do we got here? US version, option of the American English dub track, including Jackie Chan and Michelle Yeoh, voicing their own characters, or the film's original Cantonese audio. They've got just every version you can possibly think of here. New subtitles, hour of interviews, the ultra-violent Jackie Chan video games, brand new featurette on the rarely seen Jackie Chan video games Kung Fu Master and Fists of Fire. That's awesome. What a feature. I have not heard of either of those games either. Okay, they must be 80s games. Imagine they're 80s games? Maybe they're early 90s. Yeah, interviews, archival interviews with Jackie Chan, with Michelle Yeoh, just insanity, so much stuff in here. And take a look inside, another one that weighs a ton. There you go. The disc has reverse cover similar to the slip, and we get a whole bunch of lobby cards. Very nice, and a booklet. There you go. Shell on a bike. So yeah, it's really good to finally be able to get this trilogy all done. So I said we had the first 2 films from Eureka in their very early Eureka Blu-rays. Fancy box set. Had that for a long time, but yeah, Super Cop, Police Story 3, finally on Blu-ray, and yeah, you can get the 88 Films US version as well if you prefer, if it's easier. Also, Mao, 88 is kind of upgrading things I didn't think was going to happen, particularly given, it was like a year ago with mainland China, Hong Kong, all a bit weird over there, and there was the news articles about how they're going to, scrub a lot of their old films and make it difficult to get the films and that kind of thing. I don't know. Sounds like just censorship by stealth. So I was wondering if we would ever get upgrades of things like this. And look, here we are on the run, in not only an upgrade but a fat box set. Yuan Bao, Pat Ha, and Charlie Chin in a ridiculous box set. Just golden age. I can't believe this stuff sometimes. There we go. There's the Hong Kong poster art, I suppose. And the inner there, we get another truckload of lobby cards, which I'm not going to flick through now. And a poster, which is with the new artwork, I think. And a huge, really comprehensive book here. On the Run and Hong Kong Noir. Big article there. Looks like it's almost like a mini magazine here, different writers of different things. The various releases of this film and other films. That's the cover of the old was it Media Asia, I think, did the disc that I had previously, which I no longer have. Yes, now I have this. Just ridiculous. I'll read a little bit from the back. Directed by Alfred Cheung and starring the legendary Yuan Biao from Prodigal Son and Righting Wrongs. Righting Wrongs is coming out in like a month, finally. At least the 88 version. The Vinegar Syndromes came out last month or month before. Noir crime drama On the Run remains a classic staple of the thriller genre from Hong Kong. In the aftermath of his wife's brutal murder, struggling cop Huang Ming Yuan Bao is forced to go into hiding after discovering corruption in the ranks. His only ally is deadly assassin Shui Pat Ha, as they each try to avoid arrest and even death. Amazing. Just, I can't believe we're getting these fancy box sets for this kind of stuff now. You wouldn't have placed bets on it. When you started seeing the Hong Kong Blu-rays coming out of Region 3 countries, I thought that might be it, and there was a lot of them that were coming out from companies like Cam and things like that, where they upscales, and figured it might all end there. Then 88 and Eureka and even Arrow sometimes just keep digging a little bit deeper than I was expecting, and I think a lot of us were expecting. Poster, the rigid slipcase, 6 collectible art cards, 80-page perfect bound book. That's 80-page book, featuring a brand new interview with director Alfred Cheung and actor Pat Ha. 2K transfer from the original elements, Cantonese mono, English remastered subtitles, commentary with Kenneth Borison and Phil Gillen of the Podcast on Fire Network. Don't know what that is. Audio commentary with Asian cinema experts Frank Zheng, that's a name again, and FJ DeSanto. New, Running Away, an interview with Alfred Cheung. New, Predicting the Future, interview with David West. Alternate Ending, HK trailer, reversible sleeve. Cats and Dogs, it's just on the run. Ridiculously awesome box set here. I now have to reassemble, but it's just the love and attention that we're getting for some of these films. Oh, can I even get this back in? Is somewhat surprising. So there you go, On the Run. Severin box set. I was originally on the fence of picking this one up. I only wanted it for one film, and then I was reading about the other 3 films in the set, and I went, no, look, this actually sounds like a good time, an interesting time. I'm not familiar with the book that this is sort of related to. I'm talking about The House of Psychotic Women, which is, yes, apparently a book, I think, about these kinds of films. I really don't know too much about it. But the writer of the book prefaces each of the films when you put the disc in there. She talks about them. So I should probably look into that book. It does seem interesting. But it is actually a very nice box set. You get Identikit, I Like Bats, Footprints, and The Other Side of the Underneath. The only one I knew about, which was Footprints, which is a pretty weird sort of giallo. And it is fantastically shot film. It was very, very rare. It was like impossibly rare for the longest time. Shameless did a DVD about a decade ago, and that's when I first got to... No, I lie. I first got to see it on a dodgy download that was average quality. Then I got the Shameless DVD, and I thought it was great. Now we have the Severin Blu-ray, and even for that alone, I'm thankful for the upgrade. It looks outstanding. I will start with that movie. So yeah, Footprints, also called Footprints on the Moon, or Les Hommes, which is on the reverse cover. No, it's not. Didn't include that. You got the US cut and the Italian cut. I actually watched the US cut this time around. I felt lazy and I wanted to watch it in English. And it works fine in English. But it is a very weird film. It's got this strange sort of dream sequences with Klaus Kinski. Feels like it's cut from a different film. And it's like this black and white sequences where he's ordering astronauts to like die on the moon. It's really, really weird. And look, they do call it a giallo, and I can see why it's a giallo, but it doesn't have there's no black gloved killer, okay? But yeah, it sort of is, and it fits into that world anyway. I mean, it's an Italian film. In the most criminally underseen giallo of the 70s, Florinda Balkan from A Lizard in a Woman's Skin, and she's very good in this, stars as a freelance translator who wakes one morning missing all memory of the past 3 days. But will a trail of odd clues lead her to a place where perception and identity are never what they seem? Nicoletta Elmi from Deep Red, she's the little girl with the pigtails. She's in this. She's still a little girl in this one. There's actually a little featurette in here all about her, because she's like the Bob, like she's in so many films. As sort of the creepy girl, she plays a really good role. Evelyn Stewart, The Sweet Body of Deborah, Lila Kedrova from The Tenant, and Klaus Kinski co-star in this visually stunning gem, and that is very true. The cinematography is excellent in this film. Also known as Footprints on the Moon, directed by Luigi Bazzoni, who did The Fifth Chord, which is good fun. With cinematography by 3-time Oscar winner Vittorio Storaro, The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. And you can definitely see bits of the bird in this, in the way it's been shot. Absolutely, you can see that. Newly scanned in 4K from the OCN, and it looks outstanding. It really, really does. If you're a fan of the movie, or you just like slightly weird Italian films, it is worth the price of entry for this box set, right? It's not even a very expensive box set when all things come down to it. 2 cuts of the film, the US cut, Italian cut, interview with Ida Gali, the Nicoletta Elmi Italian Cinema's Imp Ascendant, which is almost offensive. It's a video essay by film scholars Alexandra Hella Nicholas and Craig Martin. And the Italian cut has Light of the Moon, interview with cinematographer Vittorio Storaro, and some trailers. So yeah, it's a really good film. I really dug that one. So that's Footprints. The next one I watched, I've only watched these 2 so far. Very, very weird Polish film, which I think is all Polish films. I Like Bats. I Like Bats. It's surreal. It's got horror elements. It's more of a black comedy in that way that like Polish films are. I don't know any Polish films that are not kind of weird ass surreal black comedies. They all kind of are. And this is no different. It was weird. I liked it. I think I need to watch it again. It's the best 80s vampire film you've never seen. And yeah, I mean, there's vampire stuff, and like the lead lady is biting necks and things like that, but don't expect any gore fest vampire thing. It's more strange psychological and descent into madness kind of stuff, but old school gothic horror, yeah, bits of it. Slightly contemporary take on the female bloodsucker mythos. Katarzyna Walter stars as a happily single young vampire who works in her aunt's curio shop when not feeding on various suitors and sleazebags. When she falls for a handsome psychiatrist trying to work out if she actually is a vampire, she'll discover that no affliction is more horrific than love. Co-scripted by feminist writer activist Christiana Kofta and featuring poet, songwriter and cabaret icon Jonas Kofta in his sole film role. I Like Bats, scanned in 2K from the only 35mm print known to exist. I think it's a pretty rare bloody film, and I enjoyed watching it. I think it's one I need to watch again because it was just so utterly oddball. But it's got some weird little like side scenes that are funny in like a French movie kind of way. Like there's a scene where the doctors are repeatedly trying to do a sort of X-ray on the vampire girl, and they can never get an image because she's a vampire. They're like, "Oh, this bloody machine's broken." I thought that was funny, and they try it like 3 times. But it's an odd one. I Like Bats, with a great title too. Now these two I don't know much about. I haven't got to these ones yet, but Identikit, cool name. Bizarre, one of Elizabeth Taylor's bizarre single most berserk performances. I could count the amount of films I've seen of Elizabeth Taylor, and it's probably 0, to be honest. Don't think I've actually seen any of her films. I might have, but did just not realise it was her. Remains the most obscure, bizarre and wildly misunderstood film of her entire career, perhaps even 70s Italian cinema. Elizabeth Taylor stars as a disturbed woman who arrives in Rome to find a city fragmented by autocratic law, leftist violence, and her own increasingly unhinged mission to find the most dangerous liaison of all. Academy Award nominee Ian Bannon from The Offence, Moana Washburn from The Collector, Andy Warhol co-star in this unique, hallucinatory neo-noir. Barely released in America as The Driver's Seat, directed by Giuseppe Patriani Grifti, adapted from an unnerving novella by Muriel Spark, featuring cinematography by 3-time Oscar winner Vittorio Storaro, again. Restored in 4K Cinematheque by Bologna and Severin Films. So, like, whatever this is, they've gone all out in a nice release, in the transfer and stuff. But yeah, I honestly don't know anything about it. Taylor is exquisite in her full-flowing, full-bodied lunacy. It sounds really good. Premiered at Cannes in 1974 to stunned silence and has been remained largely unseen. Well, I guess I should pop this one up the list. Disc again. These didn't have reverse covers. Would have liked to have seen the... these are all reimagined, obviously, in the colour scheme. Would have liked to have seen some original posters and things. I have to cover The Other Side of the Underneath, a film by Jane Arden. Boobage. Can I show the back? I can. It's just got violence. This one is from 1972. Jane Arden's apocalyptic classic, restored in the first time in America. And again, I don't know this one at all. It's been called harrowing by The Guardian, seriously disturbing, and part documentary, part primal scream. More than half a century later, it remains all that and more. 1972 screenwriter, feminist, radical theatre icon Jane Arden adapted her own multimedia stage production, A New Communion for Freaks, Prophets and Witches, into a nightmarish exploration of reason, chaos, and her own battles with mental illness. This is sounding pretty strange already. Sheila Allen from Children of the Damned, and Lynn from The Black Torment, renowned visual artist Penny Slinger, and Arden herself, star in the only British feature film of the 70s, Solo, directed by a woman. Recently restored in 2K by the British Film Institute. BFI do good work, so this is sounding pretty interesting. Yeah, the images on the back are kind of disturbing photos down the bottom there. But yes, cannot show the front boobage. Extended work print of the version of the film is included. Interviews, yeah, trailers. Yep. Oh, got a little card in this one. Whatever that is. Miskatonic Institute of Horror Studies. I don't know what that is. It's like an ad. And there's the disc. So, yes, there you go. The Other Side of the Underneath by Jane Arden. I have no idea what that is, but looking forward to checking it out because, yeah, the first two I've seen, obviously I love Footprints, really do. Lilac Bats was very interesting, and Identikit sounds like something I should really just bump up the queue, so there you go. Nice box set there. Definitely one to grab, I think. And the last one to show here, as my battery is flashing the low charge light at me. This is from Arrow Video. This is the Gothic Fantastico box set of Italian mid-60s black and white Gothic horror films. I don't know anything about these films. I think a lot of people are not going to know much about these films. It's looking pretty obscure at this point. But they're all from sort of directors that have done things you do know. And that is what is really appealing about this. So we'll quickly look at them. The Third Eye we have on this one. This is from... Is it going to make it easy for me to see the director? I'll just read the top part. Taking a large pinch of Psycho's gothic perversity, Mimo Guarani's lesser known The Third Eye weaves a wicked tale of families too close for comfort, loaded Italian style with ample doses of lust and necrophilia. He's one of those blokes that roots corpses. The Third Eye sounds pretty good. For a 60s, mid-60s black and white Gothic Italian film. The Blancheville Monster. It's also called Horror. Edgar Allan Poe's Horror. And director Alberto Di Martino would later become known as something of a cult figure in the Italian genre film through titles such as The Killer is on the Phone, The Antichrist, and Holocaust 2000. Molded in a more classic horror style in comparison, Blancheville Monster is unlike much of his later work, featuring layer upon layer the influence of American Gothic master Edgar Allan Poe. There you go. There's all kinds of features, and they're all nice new restorations from OCNs, these things. So, yeah, I just don't know what to tell you about them because I've never seen them. The Witch, third one. And this one of the most unique films to come out of the latter end of the heyday of Italian Gothic cycle. Damiano Damiani, what a great name. The Witch takes an avant-garde approach to interpreting genre, mixing in elements of free jazz, hints of psychedelia, and the occult for good measure. Wow. It's got Richard Johnson from Zombie Flesh Eaters. There you go, he's in this film. Yeah, there you go, another 2K OCN scan of a film I have not heard of, The Witch. And Lady Morgan's Vengeance is the last one here. Although not as busy as in Gothic as forefather Mario Bava, director Massimo Pupilio made three key Italian Gothic titles. Following Terror Creatures from the Grave and the wildcard Bloody Pit of Horror, there's a film, Lady Morgan's Vengeance was to be his last experiment in horror. It was also his most subtle and romantic film in the genre. There you go, okay. It's got Paul Muller from Nightmare Castle in it. Barbara Nelly from Double Face is in this one. Eric Blanc from Kill Baby Kill. Whole bunch of Italian alumni in this film, and another 2K from the OCN. So look, 4 films I've never really particularly heard of, which is exciting, and a giant booklet to talk about all of those films. And a poster of that one that's also called AKA Horror. Yeah, you get the wraparound O card thingy-me-bob. J card. It's shaped like a J card. And yeah, all kinds of stuff here about the films. There's commentaries, all of them. There's video essays. Yeah, there's a heap of things, and it is the Gothic Fantastico set for Italian tales of terror. And yeah, that's going to be an interesting one, especially to get into, as I know nothing about those films at all, which might be the case for many of you as well. If you've seen any of those, do let me know what you think. And that is this video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, check out that guy, and I'll see you next time.